This episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Lucha Libre. Grab your mask and get directly into the ring with Los Heroes of Lucha Libre. Coming up on today's TRS, we take a look at the most talked about film of the year, The Social Network.
And welcome to the Totally Rad Show for Thursday, September 30th. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Cannata.
And I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Slow roll, Dan.
That was
slow roll. Yesterday you heard us talking about the new TV show Boardwalk Empire from HBO, Martin Scorsese.
That's right.
And Terrence Winter, I should say, rather than saying Martin Scorsese, who didn't really create it.
He's related to Edgar Winter.
He's not, shut up.
Daily callback!
Daily callback! Amazing. But today we are going to be talking a little sneak peek at The Social Network, the new David Fincher film.
Fincher?
Shall we?
A little man named Aaron Sorkin.
Fincher? Didn't even know her.
Today in movies, we are talking about The Social Network, which is already one of the most talked about movies of the year.
So
a lot of people.
A lot of.
like.
I knew that joke was coming. There's gonna be a lot of Facebook jokes in this segment. I'm sure.
Strap yourself in.
Yeah.
Facebook.com.
A lot of preliminary Oscar buzz. And made from a lot of Academy Award-winning and nominated filmmakers. So it's based on the book *The Accidental Billionaires* by Ben Mezrich, which it depicts the genesis of the website Facebook and the relationship between its founders.
Very nice.
It's adapted by The West Wing's Aaron Sorkin. It's directed by David Fincher. It's scored by Nine Inch Nails' Trent Reznor. Alex?
Yes, Daniel.
You did not like this trailer.
Well, I just didn't like this.
Backpedal, backpedal, backpedal.
No. I did not like the trailer because I didn't
Just did a
care.
really stupid dance.
I didn't care because I didn't care to see any of the content. I was like, I don't care to hear the story, so nothing the trailer could do to change that.
Right.
That said, this is an amazing movie. This is an amazing movie. I went in going,
Sweet vindication.
It's no vindication. It's not on you.
Well, but there was a lot of.
I didn't care to see the subject matter, but I was surprised at how first off, David Fincher is David Fincher. I mean, some of the stuff, the rowing stuff, all the stuff that happened in the UK, like the rowing stuff,
like a tilt shift sequence.
Amazing. Yeah, they did a little tilt shift stuff. But even then, that sequence of rowing combined with Trent Reznor's score, it was just like, I was like, that is a freaking rowing event.
I think Trent Reznor's score throughout.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought, the only thing that I thought I was a little bit like, was I don't know if I'm gonna like Andrew Garfield or whatever his name is. Spider-Man.
He's an amazing actor.
I know,
this is one taste of him. He's done other things.
I know, but he just really is. I mean,
I don't want to taste him.
I know, but it's just like as soon as he first started coming out, I was like, oh god. But the story, I mean, it was great. I thought the movie was great. I thought it was really well put together. I thought, I don't know Zuckerberg personally, but I'm assuming that they watched a lot of interviews and stuff to get the mannerisms because he seemed a little bit.
Jesse Eisenberg plays Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
he did seem
like, especially the first scene. He was like, whoa, Asperger's is all.
He
over
had
the
a
place.
take on him. It wasn't Jesse Eisenberg playing the same.
Not
he
at
was
all.
a little bit that way, but there was definitely a firm
This definitely did not feel
performance.
like the Jesse Eisenberg that you kind of get in all his movies, which I think is something that I really appreciate because Jesse Eisenberg could have become sort of the Michael Cera sort of caricature of yourself in that no matter what role you play, you kind of have that jive. He was a totally different person. I mean, by the end, I was looking at Mark Zuckerberg.
I'll do you one better, Alex. I think he should be nominated for an Academy Award for this performance.
Wow, that is one better.
I think Andrew.
Then he was very good.
I think Andrew Garfield should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor for this performance. I think this is a phenomenally effective, interesting, awesome movie that is about our time in a way that's unique and compelling. I think it should be said from the mountaintops that Aaron Sorkin is a genius. Please just continue writing I want to see everything he writes. It's so incredible. And the filmmaking, from the way it's shot to the score, everything has such a momentum. It feels like a giant beholder coming down the mountain.
What happened?
Life callback.
Honestly, it
callback.
feels like this boulder rolling down a hill, and there's such a like momentum to everything, and it's just like this pace throughout the entire first like 2/3 of the movie that is just, I'm on the edge of my seat because things are just going.
That is mainly score, by the way.
It's a lot to do with
If it
score.
had a different music, it would not have had that momentum. But sorry.
I think you're right, but I think a lot of it also is the alacrity that the dialogue is delivered and written with, and that the fact that the movie kind of indulges in that. We also just saw Wall Street 2, and we haven't reviewed it yet, but I will say that this movie and that movie are interesting that they're coming out at the same time because they're both about similar themes. Well, they're both about similar themes in that capitalism and drive and ambition and where friendship fits in with that and relationships fit in with that. And I think what this movie accomplishes with a scalpel, Wall Street 2 does with a cudgel. It's like this movie is so nimble and effective, and there's such great moments, and it's all in the writing and beautiful language.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have very well been a boring movie about conversations in boardrooms, conversations in dorm rooms, conversations in bars. That's all this movie
And
is.
structurally,
Conversations.
It's very mundane content that the craft that is showing it all to us gives it that meaning and importance and specialness.
So you hated it as well.
So I hated it, yeah. I think what's really remarkable is we get the Aaron Sorkin writing that we would see on a TV show like The West Wing, and we get the David Fincher filmmaking that we would see in a movie like Fight Club or
Panic Room. Yeah.
And we get the Trent Reznor score that we would hear in a movie like Seven or in an industrial rock club or whatever.
Yeah.
But them all being
so hip,
I'm
Dan.
so hip.
That's a gravel
But
joint.
all of those components coming together in a movie also that's about people and characters as opposed to not a political thing like Sorkin typically does, and not, although it is similar subject matter to a lot of his stuff, but also Fincher, I always am left cold. There's either a grandness or a real apathy to his movies, and this at least started out really character-oriented, and I loved his filmmaking with really soulful material. Especially the opening scene is an explosive action sequence with dialogue.
That's what we talked about with Frost Nixon.
It's like, well, I mean, I didn't feel the way about Frost Nixon, but it's like the opening scene in a James Bond movie, but in a relationship dialogue scene.
And it sets up the entire tone of the movie, and it sets up, it's the linchpin around which the entire plot is spun. But also I want to say, structurally, it's brilliant. There's moments when we're hopping in and out of time, and we're hopping in and out of like multiple lawsuit depositions, and I'm never unclear as to where or when we are, and I'm never, it's always informing me greater than what I had before and commenting, and it's such skillful, masterful filmmaking. Major
reveals of things. The story is unraveling.
Yeah.
And what's that script structure with just a regular movie in it would have been awesome. The dialogue in this movie with just typical content and not with that structure and not with Fincher's filmmaking still would have been awesome.
Yeah.
David Fincher's filmmaking without that amazing score, with other things, would have been awesome. All of that together, it's like an achievement.
But can we talk for a second? I mean, I'm very curious, Alex, what you think as well about what this movie says about our times. Like, do you feel like there was a resonance about, like, especially there's a sequence where there's a counterpoint between sort of the popular guys having this party, this wild sex party, and the nerds like hanging out and getting really excited about code being written, and I found like to be so about our time.
I will tell you the line in this movie that I'm going to misquote here, that I think really solidified where I think our generation is, and especially with what we do and what I do personally, really hit me was when they were talking to the Harvard professor, and he said, people at Harvard are now trying to invent jobs for themselves so they don't have to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, That is exactly what it is. And this movie, it makes you realize that that's what people are doing. Is it's not now like, what job should I take? It's F that. I'm going to create a job that has never existed that will check all of the joy boxes that I need checked and will also fund my life.
My favorite line was when it said, there was something about they're attacking from the dark of solitude, which is how angry people lash out nowadays, or something. Like,
I related to that specifically.
Oh, when
very
he was
much.
talking about him typing in his blog, yeah.
What do you guys feel about truth versus fiction in terms of, does it matter if this is actually how events unfolded to you, or, I mean, I will say,
I don't know,
I will
it's
say
tough.
there's movies like Ray and Walk the Line, and then there's movies like Goodfellas and The Godfather and Boogie Nights, or not Goodfellas, sorry, like Boogie Nights and The Godfather, that I get the same
roughly
thing.
based on.
They're not based on.
Yeah, they're
Godfather's
fiction,
complete
wholly
fiction.
fiction.
Boogie Nights complete fiction. Ray and Walk the
yeah.
Line biopics. But they're the same story structures, the same kinds of stories, and they're equally as informative.
My issue-
It sucks being the real people.
Here's the
It's
thing.
real.
My
sucks.
issue is that now people are going to believe that that is the actual history of what happened, untainted and unbiased.
I don't think anybody actually thinks that.
Wow, I think you're giving people way too much credit. I think people
Because
look.
it's so stylized. Like the way the movie is presented to you is very
I
stylized.
think people walk out and go, "Wow,
Yeah,
that's
but
really crazy. I didn't
because you
know
have
that it was
courtroom
that and
scenes,
this." Yeah, that is.
it makes it feel like
people are
it's-
going to believe that is history, and that's where I think it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day,
But it also
shit's
incites people to
interesting.
look
I
it
want to
up.
see it. Yeah, I'm good. Mikey said he went back and looked at.
Yeah, I did
something.
too. I wanted to say, is that really
I
how?
can't wait to see the
Amazing.
movie again either. It's a phenomenal.
I'm definitely
movie.
owning that score.
Oh, yeah.
And also the effects, the Fincher's, like, what Fincher did, what was so show-offy in his early career, is now become so sophisticated and seamlessly integrated. Like, Zemeckis talked about that feather in Forrest Gump, and it's like
Yeah.
using effects for storytelling. And this movie,
The twins are one actor.
twins are one actor. But not only
we gotta
that,
fist
not
bump
only
on
that,
The twins are one actor, dude.
there's also shots that transition that there's an effect happening that it doesn't need to be, but it is
Dude.
because it's amazing.
Crazy.
one
I love it.
actor.
So we want to thank our sponsors, Lucha Libre, the new video game coming out.
Heroes of Lucha Libre.
Los Heroes of Lucha Libre,
Well,
Heroes del Ring,
That's
as it were.
The heroes.
Dude,
of
don't
milk
try to.
free.
Don't milk free. So grab your mask and get into the ring.
Milk library.
Heroes del Ring delivers an authentic bilingual gaming experience. You can use your Spanish.
See?
That mimics move for move the brutal strength and gravity-defying acrobatics of the
Easy
Lucha
for you to
Libre,
say.
which we all know and love. You can actually start following the game today before it comes out, becoming a fan on Facebook.
Or the Facebook.
Or the Facebook, depending on the movie. Facebook.com/AAA Heroes. That's AAA Heroes. Or follow Heroes on Twitter at AAA Heroes for all the latest news and videos about it. Also, pre-order by October 12th and receive an authentic
Amazing.
AAA licensed Lucha mask
Oh my
to
God.
wear at play, at work, wherever you want.
Do you know
just
that
put it on.
I actually
please.
own 2 Lucha Libre masks
Really?
that I bought in Mexico? So like not having to go to Mexico to buy a Lucha Libre mask is pretty awesome.
So check it out. I love it. So thank you very much, Lucha Libre. Amazing.
I heard they're actually making a sequel to The Social Network called The Social Network 2, Microblogging. Okay. Moving on.
Anyway, well, that is it for this day's episode of the Totally Rad Show. I'm still getting a little bit used to it.
Talking about Jinx.com/TRS to get cool gear.
You just
shirts,
did.
Shirts
Amazing,
and stuff.
good work.
Shirts,
I like it when you-
hoodies, Totally Rad Show hoodies, Totally Rad Show shirts.
I like it when we say it as an aside.
Should you talk about the thing that I just said? Stats. I'm Alex Albrecht, and we'll see you next day.
I'm Jeff Canada. We will also see you
And
next
I'm
day.
Dan Trachtenberg, also going to be there tomorrow.
Coming up tomorrow, test out your tagline knowing skills with the return of Tagline Takedown.
It's 1,000.
1100 AD.
1100 AD. Is that 13th Warrior? No.
It's not Encino Man.
No, neither of these. Feelings that you want to feel?
Is it R-E-E-L? Spelling, please?
No. no,
Can you use
no
that
trick
sentence in a
spellings.
sentence?
Ready for one of the most brilliant taglines to ever
333.
tagline? Ready to
To
take
ever
this one
tagline?
down? You
I
gonna
am
take
ready.
this?
Yes,
down?
I'm taking it.
I'm
Downtown?
trying.
Downtown Chinatown?
I'm waiting for you to start talking.
Is this part of it?
Ready? And...